Hello, welcome back to How to RPG, and it's all about building adventures today. I'm going to cover and do a demonstration as well of we're going to actually build an adventure together today, but I'm going to do a presentation and sort of explain and show you some of the stuff around what you need to do with regard to making your own adventures, because this is all about making your own adventures rather than me making an adventure for you. I'm going to put up a poll, so you feel free to take part in that poll. So it's probably going to be I don't know, 15-20 minutes of presentation with slides, and then we'll go straight into the adventure building process. For those of you who have been here before, you know what the deal is. So start having a sort of a think about the sorts of things you would like to do today. Anyway, I'm going to put up this poll now, and feel free to take part in that poll. Hello, Charles. I see you are here. Yes, you were early, but that's all cool. Not a problem. I'm glad that you were early. We'll see how we do today. Okay. I will get straight into this. We are ready to rock, ready to make this happen. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. The topic for today is Game Master Preparation. It is a work day. This is Lesson 1, Adventure Building. So when it comes to adventure building, what are we looking at? Well, the overview for today is the following. I want to cover the types of adventures that you can write or develop or create for your game, the types of quests that you can give to your player characters, the basic adventure building process, some miscellaneous recommendations. Now you might think that's quite short, but don't worry, it's enough. Now the objectives is I'm going to explain how to build an adventure for a role-playing game. I'm going to demonstrate the process by building one with you, and I'm going to let you take part in that process as well. Okay, let's get straight into the topic. Types of adventures. What types of adventures are there? Well, there's a few. There's about 3, but I will break them down for you. There is the sandbox or hex crawl adventure. This is where the characters start in a set location, but can venture out to any new location they would like to explore. They can go north, south, east, west, doesn't matter. Then we have the linear adventures. This is where the characters start at a beginning point and they follow a set path and go along the railway track till they get to the climax of your story or your adventure, and it has a very strong plot line. Unlike a sandbox, there usually isn't a strong plot line, but for a linear adventure, there is. Next we have the point crawl. This adventure is built around meaningful locations that are connected with multiple in-world pathways. So there's more than one route you can take. And they're kind of like a combination of the linear and the sandbox in many respects, but not quite the same. Then you can have a combination of all 3 basic types. That's the sandbox or hex crawl, the linear, and the point crawl. And most adventures are going to be built like this if they're done well. Now the reason being is there's nothing wrong with any of these. They actually do their job really well at certain times. They're good at doing certain things. Sometimes they're not good at doing other things. So you use all of them. Right, now we're going to look at some of the distinctions between adventure type, and that is location-based adventures and event-based adventures. There's 2 different types that sort of we focus around. Let's start with location-based adventures. They don't have to have a set plot line or events. They take place in a particular. They don't have to take place in a particular order. You can do them in any way you like. Okay, so a location-based adventure is where the environment has a villain or a potential conflict that the player characters can interact with. So that means with a location-based adventure, you have one outstanding goal to achieve. It is normal to have one single overarching goal for a location-based adventure. So location-based adventures are not directionless, but they do usually have at least one overarching goal that you have to try to achieve for that location. Now an event-based adventure, okay, these are often set up like a flowchart with branching options from a starting point. The event-based adventure has a very strong underlying plot line with additional subplots that are connected to that plot line. Time frames are really important with an event-based adventure, and you have to map these out. You have to actually keep a record of them. They need to be well documented. And this will be the time frames that are connected to each event that is going to occur at some point, and then, of course, where is it going to occur. It's much more difficult to build an event-based adventure than it is to build a location-based adventure. And you're more likely to have your event-based adventure derailed compared to a location-based adventure, which is why I always recommend that people start with location and overlay event over the top of a location-based adventure, because it just reinforces the survivability of your adventure by doing it that way. Okay, types of quests. What sort of quests can our player characters go on? Now there's 8 here. I'm going to go through them as quickly as I can. So we have first the fetch quest. This is where the characters have to get something from another location, potentially far away. And a good example of a fetch quest, whether they're going to go get a person or an item or object or some other thing, is something like Avengers Endgame, where the main characters have to collect up all of the Affinity Stones by travelling in time, collect them together, and then fit them to the gauntlet, okay, the gauntlet of power, and then perform the snap and bring back all of the superheroes that were made dust. The next one is the delivery quest. This is where the characters are in possession of an object, a person, a piece of information that they must deliver to a specific location, which is why it's like a delivery. Okay, a good example of this is Lord of the Rings, where we have Frodo taking the One Ring to Mount Doom to throw it into the volcano and destroy it. This is a fetch quest where you're basically fetching something, taking it from one place to another. A delivery quest. We're delivering it from one place to another. Sorry about that. Protection quests. This is where the characters escort a person or people safely to a second location potentially, or they might be protecting something. It might be an object, might be a person or some other creature in a set location. Now, a great example of this is the Seven Samurai, where you have 7 samurai who are protecting a village that is being attacked by a bandit, or a collection of bandits. There's also The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, where the bodyguard is actually supposed to be protecting this singer who's got death threats being laid against her. So that's a protection quest. Next we have the destroy quests or kill quests. They require the characters to go on a monster hunt or a creature hunt, vanquish a main villain, or break an object. And really good examples of destroy quests are Star Wars. Star Wars is very much about that. So we have to destroy the Death Star. We need to destroy the second Death Star. We need to defeat and destroy Darth Vader or the Emperor. Okay. Investigation quests are where the characters find new information to investigate a mystery. So that's their purpose, is to find new information to investigate a mystery. They're going to solve a crime or solve a problem. And a great example of investigation quests is Sherlock Holmes, where Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes investigate crimes and collect clues and then find out who's the culprit ultimately. Next, we have negotiation quests. They require characters to deliver or persuade someone that involves diplomacy, subterfuge, or perhaps trade. And a great example of this is early Star Trek, where they travel around the galaxy and universe and in a starship, and they visit and talk and discuss and get to know other alien creatures rather than blow them up. Okay? So negotiation quests. Next, survival quests. This forces the characters to survive a dangerous situation. They have to get out of the situation. It might be a natural disaster. They might be being hunted down. They might have to deal with avoiding an army on a warpath. They might be a prisoner. And good examples of the survival quest is the movie Alien, where the main characters find some eggs and an alien monster hatches and starts hunting down and killing everybody on the crew. Okay, and so the idea is to survive and hopefully defeat the alien creature, but at least survive the whole encounter or whole situation. Next is probably like the Terminator movie, the original Terminator movie, where a robot comes back from, comes from the future to the past and hunts down Sarah Connor. And so that's a survival quest. Next, the last one is the attainment quest. You have the character seeking out a treasure like an object. It might be even a person. It can even include political power, political positions, land, castles, anything like that. So an attainment quest is where, say, for example, Moana has to seek out a green jewel and place it in a particular place or in a mountain and stop the blackness that is covering the ocean from taking over and killing everything. Or Finding Nemo is an attainment quest where you have to sort of track down a lost baby fish. Those are good examples of the attainment quest. Okay, we've covered the different types of quests, but now we need to actually build our quest. The basic adventure building process, what does it look like? It's actually simpler than you think. Here it is. The best approach to making your own adventure, and I am not using my own ideas here. This is actually taken and presented by Chris Perkins. This was presented in an article many years ago. What you do is you write down your adventure notes on a single piece of A4 paper. You have 7 headings with bullet points. You may even have an 8th heading in some cases. So your first one is going to be your adventure title or the designation for your session notes to differentiate it from everything else. So maybe it's the adventure title, maybe it's just this is session 1 or session 2, whatever it is. So that's your first thing, nice and simple. The next is you need to have your adventure hook, goal, or your adventure recap. It could be any of these. You're going to spend about 3 or 4 sentences to describe the adventure goal. Okay, now it might be just to hook them in. It might be a quest, it might be a goal, or it might simply be what happened last time in your session and you're recapping it, and you're going to have part of that recap is going to be what do we need to go and do next. Okay, all right, or what could we go and do next. Good places to get information on building out your own adventure hooks is the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder 1st Ed Edition and Dungeon Master Guides. You will find quite a lot of information in there. The 5e one has got a couple in there as well. List of player character names. Like the people who are playing in your game, you need to write down their character name, their class, their race, if they have a flaw, and what their goal is. And you try to do that in one sentence. So you're going to get rid of all of the connector words. Okay, it's in note form. It's not in some sort of well-structured sentences and paragraphs. Forget about that. This reminds the player, the game master, who the important characters are in the adventure. So you need to have that written down somewhere. And so you're going to make a list of it. Create some adventure locations. I would suggest 5 in total is enough to probably get you through one session if you're running for about 3 or 4 hours. It depends on how fast you are. So some of the locations you're going to need, you're going to have either a town, a city, or a tavern potentially, but not necessarily. That could be one of your starting location. So what do you need in terms of locations? What's the information you need to get down? You need the name of the location and a basic description, and that's it. You don't really need anything else. Now, if you need information on, say, dungeons or different planes of existence or an urban setting, a water environment or the ocean, wilderness, there's a lot of toolboxes in the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder 1st Ed Edition. You'll also find that there are a bunch of different dungeon locations in the Dungeon Master Guide. If you go back from 5th Ed Edition right back to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 1st Ed Edition, you will find a lot of this information is provided for you. You can also try using a pre-made map. Look, if people make up so many maps, you don't have to draw your own map out. So when it comes to doing any mapping, you can use a pre-made map, or you just use a realistic historic location as your inspiration and use that as your map. And you'll find that your map, if you're using a map, and you probably will be a separate page from your adventure write-out. Okay, next. Make a list of non-player characters. You need to have non-player characters. It's almost vital that you have to have non-player characters. So what information do you need? You need to have the name of your non-player character, their appearance, personality, and motivation. That's it. You could have extra stuff, but those are the things that are probably the most vital. Their name, appearance, personality, and motivation. And again, you're only writing like one sentence, one line, okay? The types of NPCs or non-player characters that you will require, you need to have your villain, if there is a villain involved. If it's natural disaster stuff, then maybe you don't have a villain, but usually you have a villain. You'll have a patron or a quest giver. You may have a victim if there's victims involved. You might have somebody who's going to help the party, so we call them the helper. And then the mentor is kind of like a helper, but they will journey on throughout this adventure to other adventures as part of the campaign. And anything else that you didn't require is extra filler, like NPC that you can use to fill roles that you weren't expecting you would need to have an NPC for. Now, the Game Master's book of non-player characters is probably one of the best resources I've ever seen when it comes to NPCs. And then the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Ed Edition, you'll find a bunch of stuff there around, making up your own NPCs. I find the backgrounds in the Player's Handbook for Dungeons & Dragons 5e to be excellent. It's a really good Dungeon Master tool or Game Master tool, even though it's really kind of designed for the player characters. In fact, I think it's more useful for a Game Master. Creating your non-player characters, you can look to the Dungeon Master Guide for 5e. There's a bunch of information there, and villain goals you'll also find in that book. Otherwise, I've done videos on the topic, but Rory's Story Cubes is great for inspiring ideas for your NPCs. There's lots of different ways of building your NPC out. Okay. Next, we need to create some different encounters. Now, I do not mean combat encounters. What I mean encounters. And you're going to have about 6. I think 6 is about right. Don't bother with random encounters. Random encounters, you can just open a monster book and stick your finger down and there's a monster. Random encounters is not what we need to worry about. That's not our main focus. The focus of the encounters is not necessarily combat. It could be social interaction, somewhere where there's going to be some sort of dialogue or discussion taking place, particularly if we're dealing with a negotiation quest. Exploration, so we want enough locations for us to explore, and it might be as simple as finding something, like finding a clue or finding equipment we can use. The player characters are going to want these things. Maybe the encounter is as simple as you're going to create a trap room or a trap of some kind. Maybe it's a puzzle. It might be a skill challenge. There's a lot of different things you can use. The Game Master's book of random encounters, this has got quite a few excellent tools for doing exactly this. Like the random encounters book is awesome because it has maps, information on what those could take place in those locations. It gives you a lot of tools, okay, even a description in many cases. I'm also going to refer you to Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters. If you need puzzles, like Wally DM does it better than most, okay? I actually think he's probably the top person there is out there doing puzzles on the internet. The Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Edition has a range of tools that will do this. Not as many as I would like, but there are some. And then Traps, the Dungeon Master Guide for 5e, will have some of this stuff here as well. Not a lot, but there's some. Okay, now, I kind of mentioned almost everything that I wanted to say, but there's one last thing we need to make sure you get, and that is set your rewards for completion of the adventure. Okay? Whatever you do, whatever they're going to do here, there needs to be some sort of reward. So character advancement is nice, but it's probably not the only thing you want to consider. Maybe it's magic items, maybe it's political power, maybe it's treasure, maybe it's money, maybe it's a relationship with a non-player character or a contact that will benefit them in the future, or just make the whole experience of going on an adventure far more interesting than it was before. It can be as simple as that. It doesn't need to be character advancement, but it's nice when it is. Okay, so when I cover these topics here, particularly around adventure building, I always like to give out some miscellaneous recommendations. I'm going to do that right now. My miscellaneous recommendations to you. Don't spend all your time on developing one concept of your adventure. Okay, you have limited time to get it done. Get your stuff down quickly. Okay, you spend far too much time trying to develop these things, you'll wind up not getting it done at all. So move quickly, don't spend a lot of time on one area. Stop sweating the creative ideas on your adventure. You don't know what people will actually like. I found that even with my friends who I've been playing with for many, many years, like, almost a decade, they honestly, I don't always know exactly what they will like. So you just got to try stuff. This is the thing. When you write your own adventure, when you create your own stuff, okay, you only know if it's any good once you've tested it. So that means you have to run it first. So give yourself a break. You can do this. Now, I'm hoping that this was useful to you, and if it was useful and you found it helpful, excellent. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank my patrons very specifically because it's vital that they support me so that I can keep doing this every single week and running this program, which I've run quite a few times now. And thank you so much. And hey, all the best. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, let's just jump over to my face just quickly. I'm kind of a little bit forward, so I might be a little bit blurry. We're not going to stay in this position for very long. We're actually going to jump out of here and go straight into getting things done. I just need to do... Alright, okay. Okay, so I've got all that lined up and ready to go. That's good. We don't need this. Don't think we'll need that. And let's go over chat. Okay, hello, how are you everybody? Today is a day where we actually created an adventure, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes. I've got a bunch of books in front of me which look, when I show you stuff, I'm quite serious about some of the stuff here. Like, honestly, I think this is a very good Game Master guide. It might be for Pathfinder, but I still feel like it's a pretty good tool. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it certainly does a lot of good things. And I'm not kidding when I say that if you want NPCs, like this is the book, the Game Master's book of non-player characters, random tables, and pre-made NPCs galore for all sorts of different purposes. So that's a really nice book as well. And then I've been having a love-hate relationship with this thing. You can do a lot with this, but I'm also aware that it's for a very specific way of doing stuff, and it's for a very specific setting. So I'm putting it out there. You'll see more of this, Merkborg. And then one of my favorite books, still think that it's excellent, and it's this one. And that is the Game Master's book of random encounters, which is basically not random encounters, really. It's locations that you will reuse quite a lot. And the great thing about that book is, like, it gives you pretty much all the tools you need for different locations. So that's really helpful. I like the fact that somebody's actually thought about doing this and done it well. It's good when people actually make a product that works. You know what I mean? So there we go. Let's grab this. Now, I thought, and I don't know how people feel about it, I thought it would be nice to do like a Greek-themed adventure. And when I say Greek-themed, what I kind of really mean is I was thinking like an arena. I was thinking, what about like running away or escaping from being a gladiator? Like either... you have your party is captured and they are gladiators in an arena, and they have to escape the arena. And so we can build the arena on top, we can have an arena battle, and we can also have some different locations underneath the arena where they house the prisoners, or the gladiators in this case. And I thought that would be quite fun to do. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm going to throw it out there and see what you say about that, because I think that would be a lot of fun to try out. Now, what do we got here so far? So, do you want to create a Greek-style adventure? Some people said, 40% said yes, no 20% out of 5 votes, undecided 40%, something else. So I think we're not too sure about what we want to do today. So, this is what I'm going to suggest. Let's do this, because we haven't actually built an arena-style adventure before. And, I mean, as tropes go, it's quite common to have arena style adventures. People do them all the time, so maybe we just do it and we'll see how it goes, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and we know we've done it. Okay, so Charles Butler is a patron. Thank you for being here, Charles. Fred Hubber, hello. Not late as usual. Oh, well, that's nice. I'm glad you're here. Players tend to turn all quests into destroy and kill quests. They can. Not always, but they can. Hi, Shiner. How you doing, Shiner81? Well, I suppose that's true, but I'm thinking Greek as in Greek because I'm thinking more in terms of Greek mythology rather than I'm thinking about Roman history. But I get what you're meaning. So I guess Roman, Greek, yeah, okay. So let's work on that. Let's do that. Let's start off. I'm going to pull up my work page. Where is it? It is here, and we'll get this done. Bring you in. Bring it over. Hopefully my phone keeps refreshing and we don't lose anything along the way. I think that's it. I think we can just jump on over. Okay, there we go. Cool. Right. So, first off, we're not going to worry about the adventure title designation at this present time. What we will do is we'll just start working on the other aspects of it and fill in those ones. Okay, so let's do this, and I will go down. We go here. We'll put in some numbers. We'll go bold underline for now. Bold underline, and next. Now we could go straight for what is the adventure hook or goal, and I'm going to suggest that's where we start. That's probably a good place to start. So hashtag, oh come on phone, hashtag, what is the adventure hook or goal? And I'm just going to put here arena. Let's work around the idea of an arena, okay? So Dungeons and Chronics, welcome. So you love Greek and Roman mythology, so do I. This is one of the reasons why I sort of suggested it. Also too, because we haven't kind of done the arena, so that's why I wanted to do it. So I'm going to let you come up with some ideas, people, while I just lay out a few things, and then if you haven't got anything floating around, I'll start doing it myself. That's fine. So yeah, throw out some ideas. I'm going to just write down a bunch of ideas, and then whichever one sort of looks the stronger out of them, that's the one we'll go with, okay? What do you got here, Fred? Gladiators hear rumour that they are scheduled to be lion bait next week. I like that a lot. That's very, very... the gladiators... hear rumours they they are scheduled to be lion bait next week. The players' characters who are gladiators have 1 week to plan their escape before death is likely. Yes, fighting off lions is not a good thing. So British English, thank you. I think we'll take that one. In fact, if anything, I don't think we need to do anything more. I think we just go with that one, Fred. I actually like that a lot. That's nice and simple. It's easy for us to sort of work with. It's super simple. So that's wonderful. So let's go with that. I think that's a good move. Nice job. Okay, and it's nice and simple. It fits what we're doing here. So now that we've got a few more people in here, I think this is a good time to start coming up with some player character names. I'm hoping that those of you who are here are willing to share that information. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go bold, underline. And I need you to give me strapped to posts as appetizers for the lions. Well, what they would probably do, right, Fred, is they would probably release the lions into the arena and try to have the gladiators fight them off, knowing fully well that lions have probably got a significant advantage over them. Because that's what you want, is you want it to be a fight, so the audience gets to see a bit of action. So I think that's probably what we'll do with this. Okay, so hashtag what okay, so who are the player characters? Okay, and give me a name, a class, name, class, race, I guess, motivation, maybe. It depends on how much motivation. Just depends on how much you think you can squeeze in here. Okay, so my suggestion is share the actual characters you're playing. Just throw out those. We only need 5, and then I think we can move on from there. Okay. So I am just going to keep formatting here, laying this out, and then we'll come back to this in a second. Right. Now, while you're doing that, I am going to underline this and bold it. You can hear a little whistling noise. That means that my niece, Amelia, is back. She's having a good day. I can tell you that now. List of non-player characters. We'll work that out in a second. And then our rewards. Our rewards are going to be pretty obvious, but we'll work with this in a second, and we'll do some encounters after that. Okay. All right. I'm coming to start filling in some details, people. If you haven't come up with some stuff, I'm going to start doing it myself. Okay. Feel free, throw your ideas out there. I'm sure there'll be something that'll stick. So first off, I'm going to just come back to the list of player characters. Since I've got nobody sharing anything currently, I'm going to type in some locations we need. We need the arena, or Colosseum. Colosseum. Oh, that's not how you spell Colosseum, Fred. Colosseum. So this is a oval, sand, what do you call it, track, and staging area with what you call it, seats, something like with not podium seats, with raised seating. I think that's probably the easiest way to say this. We probably want to give this arena or Colosseum a name. Glad you explained the whistle. I thought I was a distant scream from outside my house. No. Amelia likes to scream when she's happy and when she's not happy. But yes, it's not you. Don't think that it's have anything to do with you. Okay, so some of the things we need to have here. We want, I think, like cells underneath, cells, or not so much a prison, but cells or gladiator cells. Let's do this. This is where they're going to be kept. The metal bar cages the gladiators are kept in. Hello, Michael. Michael is a patron. Welcome. Derp. Now, what here? PCs would be the characters the players make. That's right. PCs are the players the characters make. Are they gladiators, guards, audience members running the game? Let's go with, let's just make them gladiators for now. Because if we're having them escape, that's going to probably be more interesting. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. I think our premise for our goal is pretty obvious, that they are the ones who are escaping. So, yeah. I'm going to get rid of the hat. It's not helping me now. It's going to just run with me. Okay, Dungeons & Chronics. We have a player name. Let's put it in. This is Rowan. Rowan Harthorn. Okay, so he is this is a human. Human what? Human fighter. What else do we have? Dock worker. Okay, so let's go ex-dock worker. Ex-dock worker. So, wound up in the arenas for whatever reason. So we're going to go here, become folk hero. So you've done exactly what I asked for. Dungeons and Chronics. I have we know what the name of the player character is. We know what race they are, or species, or ancestry. We have a class, fighter. We know a little bit more about them. You've gone dock worker. I'll put dock worker. Although we can even just leave it. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Just put dock worker. Let's just go dock worker. They want to go back to the docks. Dock worker. Become a folk hero. And that's how you would structure it. You can see I've got a bit of space. I could add a bit more if I wanted to. But that sort of gets the job done. Yeah? I see. So he joined, yeah, so Rowan actually joined voluntarily. Right, got it. You'll leave making PCs to the players. That's fine. We'll come back to this. Those of you who are here, feel free to share your character, and I'll plop it into this adventure. So while you guys are coming up with various PCs or PCs, not NPCs, but PCs we can add, let's come up with some locations. Hashtag. Locations for the Coliseum. Coliseum. I've already started. Shiner81, thank you. We now have another one. I'm going to add in here, I'm going to put down here sparring room. Sparring room, that should be pretty obvious what it is. We will put in here a bathhouse. They used to treat their gladiators pretty well until they wound up in the arena. So, yeah, if you can keep them alive, it's always good. Okay, so next let's put in, say, we've got a bathhouse, we've got that. What else do we need? We'll put in a guard room. So we got 5 locations. I'm going to let you guys come up with a few more ideas, okay? While I bump in this name from Shiner81. Okay. Sharon Darkblade. And that's Alvin. Sorry. Now why have I... Oh, I didn't go where I wanted it to go. Let's just go here. Cut. Try to get it in the right place. Paste. Okay. Alvin. Ranger. Urchin. Got a background, great. So we know we've got a background, urchin, and get rich. There's a motivation. So we've got a little bit of information on that character. Okay, cool. Well done. Nice, nice, nice. We only need 3 more characters and we're ready to move on from there. We are actually doing very well. We're actually moving quite quickly. Okay. What do you got here, Michael? Darwin is someone who lost his entire family in a fire and has been living on the streets and decided the only way he can make something of himself is to become a gladiator. Okay, all right, I got it. Darwin, yes, we got it. Darwin. I'm not sure what race they are. Any race. Half orc. There we go. Half orc. We'll use half orc while we still can, right? Dear. Fred, I see your suggestions. I'm going to note them down in a second. Half orc. Let's go with... We don't know exactly what his class is, if he has any. So we'll go with a commoner. Is that right? Commoner? Commoner / fighter. Let's go with a lost family. Okay, needs money and purpose. I think that's what you wanted to do with that, so I'm putting it in. Okay, got it. Alright, so now going back to Fred's suggestions for location areas, let's see what I have not already got down. Training field. Gladiator dormitory, chow hall. Okay, it won't be a banquet hall. Dining hall. Got arena, dining hall. Why is that saying I can't? Dining. What? Dining? Really? Dining hall. Strange. Strange, a little strange. Hello, Pale Rider. How are you? Okay. Okay. So Fred, is that's an NPC you're adding in there? That's not a non-player character, correct? I'm pretty sure that's where you wanted it to go, was here. Eractus. Whoops. Eractius. Minimus. Eractus minimus. Okay. Mere and master of the arena. Now, we'll come back to NPCs. Yes, I kind of figured. I figured that's where you were going with this. Just got here, but I love the old Clash of the Titans movie, and not just because of it. It was it had boobies in it. Okay. So what we're trying to do is we're building up some locations. We're going to try to have our party trying to escape from being a gladiator or escape the arena, because they're going to be served up as lion dinner very shortly, in about a week's time. So they've got a week to plan an escape and make it happen. So that'll be interesting. Okay, sparring chamber. So we need to have a little bit of information around our sparring chamber. God, you little minx, just squealing away. People must come into my live streams and think, Fred tortures children on his live streams. What's going on? Who would do that? It's not happening, people. It's not happening. We should have a female gladiator. Oh, it's a whistle. It's a whistle. She's got a whistle. Oh no, it's not as bad as a drum, but it's pretty close. Okay, let's see. Here we go. I think sparring chamber we're going to have here open area with straw and dirt floor, racks of weapons and shields. Okay, so that's what we'll put into there. I think that's right. Bathhouse is a large heated pool with a open fire to create steam. What do you call it? What do you call it? Rails of towels. That's what we want there. Okay, got it. No, I don't. No, that's not. Let's not go down that route. Okay. Okay, so we've got that there. Location. If anybody else has any other ideas in terms of location for our Coliseum or arena, let me know. I'm kind of just writing out the basics of it. A guard room. So what do we want here? Well, this is going to be interesting. The guard room eludes me at this present time. Okay, so we got a new character to add, so I'll add that in now. Sheena, is this Sheena as in Queen of the Jungle? Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, right? Noble. Faraway land, who has lost all of her... So Sheena was a noble person from a faraway land who has lost all her power and money and was drawn to the gladiator life to get her fame back. So what she wants is fame. Wants fame. Interesting. So I got that in there now. I think at this point we kind of know she's probably a ranger. If I think about Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, I think the only way to classify her is a ranger. I can only think of that as a sort of a class. A philosopher. So hello, Big Kid. Big Kid is a patron also. Michael's a big kid. Michael and Big Kid are both patrons. Thank you for being here. So I will get there. We're going to deal with NPCs shortly, people. I know you're eager to get straight into the encounter stuff, and since we're on a roll and we're working quite quickly today, I totally get it. It's going to happen. Just bear with me. Let me get this stuff down. So we've got that. We've got that. What else do we need? I feel like Sheena must be human, right? Is Sheena human? Probably human. Okay, noble ranger wants fame. Okay, okay, so that's that one. We only need one more player character and we've got a full team, but 4 would do, right? 4 would do. Ranger is great. Okay, good. Bathhouse needs a philosopher who spurts all kinds of wisdom. Well, if we're going to have a philosopher in the bathhouse, you need to tell me what the name of that particular individual is. Okay? And I'll write down bathhouse philosopher and mentor. Whoopsies. But we don't have a name. So we need a name. We need a little bit of information about this person. Or humanoid. Erasmus. Erasmus. It's so close to the original. Look, we've got the name for the master of the arena is so close to that. Can we not have something a little different? It's going to be too similar. Change it up a bit. I know. Here we go. I'll change the... How's this? Hooray. Need a temple of Apollo. Why do we need a temple of Apollo? A temple of Apollo? Where did that come from? Erasmus. How's that? Erasmus. The bathhouse philosopher and mentor. Okay, so I'm doing this in jest, but I'm still doing it. Okay. I can't be two E's beside each other. It's just going to get confusing for the player characters. We don't want to do that. We want to make life easy, not harder. Okay, so, but we have a helper or a mentor. We have a villain. Eractus is probably our main villain. He's the one who's decided they're going to get, going to wind up having to deal with lions very shortly. Okay, all right. Let's get you on the the NPC roll. Let's get the NPCs going. What? Okay, so who are the NPCs? Who are the NPCs? And what we need to do here, we need name, we need description, appearance, make it brief, people, and we need motivation. Hang on. Oh, I missed personality. There we go. All right, so fire away. Let's give it. Temple of Apollo has an oracle. Temple of... Where do we get... We're dealing with an arena. How do we wind up with a Temple of Apollo coming into this? I'm a little lost. What has the Temple of Apollo got to do with this? Zapsiphael, wizard apprentice who often got these spells wrong, actually a sorcerer and couldn't make a wizard magic work. Really? Okay. All right. I'm putting it in there for you, Big Kid. I don't know what's going on right now, but it's there. Okay, Temple of Apollo. A large, open, roofed structure with a statue of Apollo, the god. Okay, all right, there you go. I've put it in a location. Got to pray before they die. Well, they can pray in the cells, mate. That's where they get to pray. They can pray in the cells. Now, Pale Rider, you have written down here. I think this is a name. Armatus. Is that what we're saying here? Okay. I don't know what this is going to be in terms of we've got a name, but nothing else to go with it. There's nothing else to go with it so far. I just got that. I'll write it down and we'll work this out. Okay, Zapsiphael. Flynn, the doctor of medical. Para is a high priest of the temple. Okay, all right. I'll put it in. You've insisted. I'm putting it in. Okay. And actually, I'm going to cut and paste this real fast so I don't have to fiddle around too much. So I'm going to. You're going to have to tolerate my face, people. Tolerate my face. And I'll just really quickly swing it around so I can get all that stuff caught up on. Because a lot of this is I'm gonna have to sort of cut and trim a few of these things here. I can see it now, so zaps the fail. Dear. Okay, that's that one there, and then next, got this thing going on here. We've got a priest. I'm going to copy this, chuck it back over here. I'll bring it back to the other page in a second. There we go. And next. Next, we'll grab that one and plug that into there. If I just, we've got more than enough NPCs, which I feel like means we are heading into, where did we get dwarf from? Is dwarf supposed to be, oh, it is dwarf. Mouser. Oh, okay. All right. I see what we're doing here. Okay. All right. I will tidy this up in a second. Now, since we've got plenty of NPCs, I've almost finished writing up all the location areas. We will zip on back onto this page. Bam. Just like so. Thief not there. I don't know what this is all. I don't know what we're talking about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to work on the next thing. We're going to deal with encounters. I will make it clear. Encounters for the locations we have, people. So I don't care whether it can be combat, it can be a social interaction, it can be a puzzle, it can be a trap, it can be something else, it can be a skill challenge. But hashtag encounters for the Colosseum. For the Colosseum, not something else. I often when I ask this question, you guys go off on some strange tangents, and I have to try to bring you back. So, okay, what will they be? Let me give you the locations we have. We have the main arena. So yes, we can have a main fight in the arena. So you can sort of, if you want to have something there, this is a good place. It would probably be bad to start off with, let's do the lions. Although we probably need to have the lions if they never manage to escape. So that would be pretty obvious, okay? We have some sort of interaction going on, maybe in the gladiator cells, maybe in the sparring room, the bathhouse, the guard room. Obviously, we're going to have to do something with the guard room. There's the dining hall and the Temple of Apollo, which if they manage to get to the Temple of Apollo, like what would that look like? What sort of encounter would we do there? Have a think. Have a think about that while I tidy up our NPCs and fill in our various location information. Okay, and we're almost at top of the hour, but we'll keep going. I'll tidy up at least the NPCs before I go take my break. Remember, encounters can be combat, and don't want to have all combat, puzzles, social interaction, traps, skill challenges, or something else you can think of. Okay, zaps a fail. Let's go here with a zaps a fail. Zaps and fail. Okay, wizard apprentice. So wizard apprentice. We'll write down here amateur. Oh, it's not quite right. And what are we doing with here? Let's go with seeks success. Seeks success. Pretty simple. And we'll just go like that. Cut this. I think what you're trying to do here with this, and I'm not sure if I'm right about this or not, is I think we're dealing with a goof here, aren't we? Klutz. Clut. Clumsy. Clumsy. Let's go with clumsy. A chariot fight. A chariot race. Let's go with a chariot race. I like the idea of a chariot race. I think that's a good idea. Let's do chariot race. Chariot race in the arena. With what? What are we chariot racing with? Oh, am I putting Zapsophiles in the wrong place? Okay. Okay, thank you, Zapsophile. I'm assuming this is a human. So I'll put Zapsophile in a different place. Let's go here, cut. Put him over here. Paste. Okay. Alright. How are we doing here? Bryce, head of the guards, barbarian, missing left hand, lost it during a prison escape attempt. Okay, so that's another NPC we're dealing with there. Okay, so that's fine. I can grab that one. No, NPCs is fine. I'll take that. I was actually hoping that somebody would come up with a kind of like a muscle villain. The villain that you deal with that's going to be bad news to contend with. So Bryce is perfect. Bryce is perfect. So let's just... Again, you get that face again. Oh my god, what the heck's going on here? Sorry, people. Just catching up with... Yeah, Bryce. Grab Bryce. Copy. And put Bryce over here. And I will sort out Bryce in a second. And... Oh! No, not over there. And there. No, that's the wrong one. And something else is this one here. Okay. Here we go. Sweet. Caught it up. Done it. It's in. All right. Let's just see how I'm doing here. Well, there's a few things to sort of tidy up here. We'll go with this as all needing to be sort of tidied up. We'll come back to you. And we are dealing with currently encounters. In dining room, PCs over here, the mayor telling Haramesh to prepare the PCs to be lion bait. Okay, right, yes. No, I agree. That's a good idea. Absolutely. Figuring out the security of the Colosseum puzzle. Okay. Figuring out the security. Okay. So this is... Burn so-called animal criminals, what? At stake. Criminals at stake. So I'm kind of curious what sort of chariot race we want out of this Dungeons and Chronics. Have a think about it. We can stick dinosaurs in there if you want. I mean, it could be elephants and chariots. It could be horse chariots. I mean, I'm fine with being horse chariot race. We can go as nutty as you like or as little as you want. That's not a problem. So let's just see if I can take some of these ideas here. Figuring out the security. Security of the Colosseum. And this is a puzzle. We just don't know exactly what it's going to look like at this present time, which is fine. So my phone did not catch up with all your ideas that you were flooding into here. So I will now go through here. Oracle has 3 challenges: trial of valor, trial of wisdom, and trial of faith. Spear and axe throwing contest. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull or port over some of these things to various places and just go take a break after this, and then we'll come back and you'll see how we sort of turn it into something that's a bit more usable. So Fred, your idea needs to be there. Let's grab this and tuck this little sucker in near the top, and then chariot race, figuring out the security of the dar. And then we're going to go, sweet, that's got Fred's, got that one. Burning so-called criminals at the stake. I'm a little unsure what that's all about. What are we trying to do there? I'll drop it in for now, but I don't know what to do with it. I'm going to have to do a bit more work with this. We've got here an axe and throwing contest. I think that's going to be in the sparring room, maybe. We can put that in the sparring room. Let's go down. In the sparring room. No. Yes, got it. Right, next. What have we got here? You've got this oracle thing going on here. You've attached yourself to this temple thing quite strongly. I can see, Big Kid. Have you got a temple situation happening in your own game shortly? Is that what's going on here? Cheetahs, chariot racing with cheetahs. Win or be lunch. Let's go horse races, horses and cheetahs. That's ominous in many respects, but also very funny. And cheetahs, yeah, that is just hilarious. Let's just tuck this in. Let's drop that in there. And cheetahs chasing the gladiators. That's entertaining. It really is. Okay, next. Statue. Okay, so let's just grab. I'm just going to grab all these ideas. I'm going to chuck them into there, and I'll tidy them up shortly. Wrestling. We want wrestling going on. We've got a lot of ideas here, people. Rather a lot. Okay. Okay, dinosaurs are fine, but a temple is weird. Dwarf pulling chariots. I can bring your own beast chariot, flying horse, pale rider, giant turtle chariot racing. Okay, all right, chariot racing with the chariot battles, tauntauns. From Star Wars, maybe jousting. Trolls occur at different locations. Prophecy. Okay, all right. That's all right. This is where I am definitely going to take a break. I'll come back. We've got a lot here. We haven't necessarily placed an encounter in each of our locations, but we've got something to work with at least. I guess that's part of what we can do and say about the whole process. So yeah, there's some stuff I've just pulled out of chat which I'll have to work over, which I will. I'll work through it and tie it all up. But I'm going to go take a break. I'll let you think about this. I'm going to type in something now. Fred, we have a master of the arena. You created a master of the arena. We have master of the arena already. Hashtag. So connect. Suggested encounters to the locations. That's what we need to try to do, is connect our encounters to various locations. Where can we place them? How's it going to work? But before we do that, Fred is going to take a break, because Fred needs a break. I do. So we've yeah, it's a bit messy, but I will sort that out when I get back. You have a think about how to tie some of these ideas you guys have thrown out there. We can't put everything in the arena. Just bear that in mind. It's got to be in some of the other locations. What are some of the other locations you're probably thinking? Well, we have a temple to Apollo. We have a dining room, or dining hall, should I say. We have a guard room. We have a bathhouse. We have a sparring room. We have and the gladiator cells. So there's a couple of different places where things can potentially happen. Right. 5 minutes or less and I'll be back. I know you made the master of the arena. Okay, right, I'm stepping back in. I'm ready to tidy up what we've got here. And, right, where is, I've got my glasses on. Why am I looking for my glasses when I already have the glasses on? Okay. All right, so let's do this. So we've got a lot of encounters, a lot of NPCs, need to tidy all of this up. A couple of things I wanted to type in here, which I'll do now. What have you got in the chat here, people? You've got camel. Somebody's put down camel. Chariot races in an arena with camels and cheetahs chasing the gladiators. Really? Is that what we want to do? That's quite funny, I have to say. Done. Okay, right now. A food fight. Derp, you want to put... Oh, right, the dining hall. Actually, that's a really good idea. In the dining hall, PCs, the player characters. Over here, the mayor telling Ramas to prepare the PCs to be lion bait. We will include a food fight in the dining hall. Just because it's funny, like it's funny, so let's do that. Somebody has said worship room. A worship room, well, that would be under locations. Let's just put here, not church, not chapel, not temple. What's supposed to be a shrine? What's it going to be? We can do a few different things here. Chapel. I'm kind of wondering how this is going to look. Let's just put a chapel in. I got that. Okay. Fighting over food may be an escape plan. Yes, it might be a technique you could use. Michael, what could have drinking challenge or eating challenge, food fight? Okay. We could have a small group of people in the dining hall that have drink too much and start a huge fight. Yeah, but they're not going to be giving a lot of alcohol. They're not going to give their fighters, their gladiators, alcohol before leading up to a fight. So that's probably not very likely. Shenanigans. I missed the beginning of the live stream. Are we supposed to be coming up with a plan of escape? No. We're just coming up with the things that we want to have happen in various locations. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to connect our locations that we have listed down to the various encounters that we have here. And what we're trying to do is have an encounter in each location if we can, potentially, and we just need to connect these. So I'm going to kind of take the reins a little bit now, since you guys have fired up your ideas, and you will certainly throw out some stuff, and I'll figure out how to make it fit. Convince 2 NPC gladiators that each had food stolen by the other. Big fight distraction in the escape. Okay. Yeah, we are. That's right. We're designing the adventure itself. So let's put in our rewards. The player characters gain their freedom and escape with an escape. That's one of our rewards. It's a natural reward. And okay, so next we also want to have the equipment. No, it's not the equipment so much, the weapons and shields. And I believe it's the sparring room should have that stuff there, right? So I'm pretty sure that's what I've written down. The sparring room. Sparring room. We might have some other things that they can have as rewards, but we need to have something. So we'll put them in down now because I've at least remembered them right this second, so I don't want to miss them. Okay, guardhouse for valor, bathhouse for wisdom, temple for faith. Valor is an animated statue, wisdom is a puzzle, and temple is a gambling challenge. I don't know what to do with that though. Big Kid, you've given me that, but I don't know how I'm not sure what that's supposed to do. What I'm supposed to do with that. Let me just pull this over, but honestly, I'm not sure what you're expecting me to do with something like that. It's just notes right now. Okay, so let's go back into dealing with. So we've got a couple of things that can have happen. Okay. in the dining room, the players. Over here, the Emir, the Master, over here, Erectus, telling Harasmas to prepare the PCs, player characters, to be line bait. So it's not quite that. That's not really what we're trying to do here. So let's have a look. Erasmus has to prepare the player characters to fight lions next week. That's one of our encounters. There we go. That's nailed down. We probably need to have that one. So I've got it. All right, sweet. Hello, Ancient Dragon. How are you doing? A reward for Gladiator would be a week off of not fighting and all you can eat and your choice of female company. I suppose it could be. Okay. All right, guys. Chappies, try not to get out of control with this. Oh, I see what you're trying to do there. What we're not trying to come up with. So this is one of the things you've got to be careful of, is we're not trying to come up with solutions for the player characters. That's what the players have to do. We're trying to present problems and issues for them. That's what we're really trying to do. Okay. And if we get that right, then we're all good. This here, I don't know how I'm supposed to do anything with this. Burning so-called criminals at the stake. So this is just really strange. Bathhouse. So actually, the bathhouse, this is actually not the dining room. In the bathhouse. Player characters over here. Okay, so that's right. We've got a food fight in the dining hall that allows the characters to try and escape. So we are presenting them with opportunities. The chariot race is just sort of part and parcel of all of that. Spear and axe throwing contest in the sparring room. That's fine. I'm actually going to move this as a priority. I'm going to cut it. And we're going to chuck it into here. Paste. Right. So we have kind of like a sort of a mini skill check going on here by looks. The wrestling, we can make that as, that's another potential thing we can do. So we're going to cut and let's put it over here and we'll paste that. So wrestling contest in the sparring room. So we don't have to use all of them. Now we want to pull in a character that they won't like. Bryce. Okay. With Bryce. with fellow gladiators and Bryce. Again, another opening for that escape. So we have to make sure that the bathhouse is our first lead on in terms of an encounter. Okay. You like that one? Okay, good. So let's keep taking this back to our locations and what we can do where. We've gonna have to have an arena battle with lions if the player characters don't escape. That'll be brutal, but we're going to have it set up as like, if things go really badly for them, what do we do? We're going to have to run it. Burning so-called criminals at the stake. What we're going to do is we're going to take this idea, which is quite sick, but we can use. I've just thought of an idea of what we can do with that now, and we'll put here, paste a fellow gladiator is punished by Bryce. We want him to hate Bryce as much as possible. Bryce with being burnt. With being burnt in the cells. So we've now used our location for the cells, because we had some. Did we have it? Did I put it down? Yes, the cells. So we've got that there as another thing that we can do. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to put a space in here. Let's have a look and see what people are. Remez. Hello, how are you? Hi, Fred. It's been a while. I will need to watch the replay of this one. That's cool. That's fine. No problems. Get strong. Feed them to the lions. Ah, okay, Fred. I see what you were trying to do here. You're trying to give me something to use as a statement for this first one, which is great. Awesome. Let's go over and pull. So put up with my face again, and then and I'll pull across your little suggestion here, and I'll take your little dialogue section, and this is actually quite good. So we'll put that in there. That'll fill it out a little bit more, and we can full stop that. And that's good. That's sweet. Nice. That's awesome. So I'm just slowly but surely pulling together all of the different ideas that you guys have come up with and turning them into things that we can use. And then trying to fix them to a location, which is like always one of the biggest problems. Ramiro, is your name Elliot Ramiro? Is your name Elliot Ramiro? I'm asking this question because I have a Elliot Ramiro on my Patreon. And I'm just curious, are you Elliot Ramiro on Patreon? Because I can't remember. So I'm kind of curious if you are Elliot Ramiro on Patreon. Just that question's that's percolating through my mind. You'll let me know if you're able to. Anyway, okay, so let's go back to what I was doing, which was working on the sheet. Okay. Right, for the bathhouse. For the bathhouse, you could also have somebody sneak in and put crocodiles or other creatures in the water as an encounter. How about a crocodile? Is pretty hard to sneak in there, but you could sneak a snake in there. A snake is like we could sneak a poisonous snake into the bathhouse. Let's do that. Let's put this in here. So that'll actually add a little bit more. So a rival gladiator releases a poisonous, deadly snake into the bathhouse. Whoops, what had happened? Bathhouse. Let's try that again. Bathhouse. Pool water. That would be fun. I need at least 3 potential escape opportunities to fight with the lions. Yeah, before the fight with the lions. That's exactly what I'm thinking. This is why you see me pushing the chariot race and the arena battle further down, because they're we don't want them to be showing up too soon. These other things need to happen way sooner than that. So we've got a whole bunch of ideas here around that, which I haven't figured out how to deal with yet. So what have I dealt with? Let's at least get these filled out. Place of prayer with a holy symbol and bench seats. There, got that in. Right, so that's that one. This is a large chamber with long wooden tables and bench seats. The guard room. This is okay. So this is a sort of like a what we want to make it as a combination sleeping barracks, dining room, and living quarters. Lounge and lounge. I think we're going to do that. Lounge. Okay. All right. So we've got that there. There, that's better. Okay, not sure if this would work, but an encounter in the cells could be a poison encounter, either with water or with the food. Could do some saving throws or something like that. Need a group of guards and assorted NPCs in the audience, commoners, off-duty soldiers. That's not bad. So really what we want what we really want to do is we want to make sure that we get enough of this here built. Okay. Right, so I'm not sure what to do with what you've got here, Big Kid. So what I'm doing is I'm actually chewing my way through and coming up with a way of including it. Should they ever wind up at this temple that you've decided we're going to include, Okay, so figuring out the security of the Colosseum. I guess what we need to do is we need to have something around the the guard room. Like the guard room is one of our main areas we need to deal with. Out of all of them, it definitely has to have something. And so I'm going to just put that in here. And I'm going to see if we can't do something with this with what we've got. Well, the gladiators are training in the arena. Could have goblin attack or something like that outside the arena. Yeah, I don't think so. I think what we'll do is really what we want to do is we want to have the guard room. There needs to be something that happens in the guard room that can be exploited. And actually, the guard room catching on fire, having a fire take place, is actually not a bad idea. Because that gives them the opportunity to overpower the guards while they're trying to put out the fire or try to escape. So, a fire accidentally occurs in the guard room when let's do something when wine when a oil lamp is knocked over. Let us do that, because now that somebody had mentioned something about a fire, and I think that's a good place to have our fire. That makes it a little bit more interesting. We've now tied in our guard room. Temple can be an escape goal. That's what I was thinking too. Safe passage. So, like an underground rail of some kind. Yes, that's where my head is going with regard to this temple idea that Big Cat has thrown forward. So let's see if we can't take this. Chapel. Artemoto. Let's make Artemoto the Colosseum. Now, what are we trying to do here? The Colosseum priest who knows of a secret passage, escape route, for the escape route. So I think that's what we're going to do here, is we're going to use that character for that very purpose. I think that's going to be the best way to deal with that. Yep. Okay, so let's do this. And that means the chapel, we're going to include the chapel. Let's put that there. Okay, no, that didn't work. Let's do that again. So I'm going to go paste without formatting. The chapel priest well, now what are we doing with our chapel priest? Well, okay, the chapel priest offers now what's the thing, like when you're dealing with Catholics, they have, what's it called when they go and see the priests or the clergy, and they go into the box and they give what do you call it? Sheesh, I can't remember. Offers a sermon and confession for gladiators. I gave the PC party an epic sorcerer as what appears to be their only arcane caster. yeah. Sermon. Sermon. Okay. So what we're trying to do here is get the player characters can request might be able to convince the priest to help with their escape. Okay. I think that's where that needs to go. Okay, so that's fine. So we're moving along. We've actually got more than enough, and I'm running out of time. Confession. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I got it. So we've got locations. Chapel, temple, I'm going to figure that out in a second. Hall, the dining hall, we've got something. The guard room, we've got something. The bathhouse, the sparring room, the cells, the arena, we've got 2 different things we can use. We've actually got more than enough. We just need to tidy this up. And so we're going to tidy it up with, okay. If the priest helps the characters escape to the Temple of Apollo, escape to the Temple of Apollo. Apollo, there is a statue with a puzzle to complete solving the puzzle. Now this is not the only way to escape, this is just one, okay? Solving the puzzle gains access to a secret what? A secret escape passageway. Okay, so this is going to require them to do quite a lot of stuff. So Big Kid, I am going to take a lot of your stuff here that you've got here, and I'm going to take it away. Okay, I'm going to take out figuring out the Colosseum security. Although I'm sure that can be done, what we're doing is presenting encounters and situations that they can exploit. That's what we want them to do. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters. Screw it, let's do it that way. Let's actually find something that would work. Possibly. Look, what really it's just it's sort of like a rough structure. Okay, let me grab something. Okay, all right. Do not fail me, Wally. Do not fail me. All right. So yeah. Okay. I suppose he could. So back to my face while I look through. Actually, no. Let's not do that way. We can do this a different way. Let's find a puzzle that would allow them to escape. I think that's a better idea. Let's do that. So if I move this out of the way and move that out of the way, and then I place this here, I should be able to just pull up the screen so you can see his book. And let's find a puzzle with we just need a puzzle that involves something like a statue. So let's see if Wally DM's book can solve our problem. Because that's what we need, is we just need a puzzle that involves a statue, and there probably is one. Prismatic owl, no. Although we could use the prismatic owl, it's got a couple of different ones. Dwarven gas chamber, the door of stone hand, no. Metallic corridors, magic mouth, chamber of luck, door of unlocking, 3-card drawer, keys to the vault, crack the lock, keys to escape maybe. The stone fist, goldfish maze, no. It's another maze, it's not going to work out. Okay, flowers and dais, proverbial shrine, maybe we can do the proverbial shrine. Skipping stones, prismatic owls, door of shadows, corridor of lava rocks, deja vu, orbs of crystal of cave, mirror. There's a few here. Let's find something that will single through. Loot, final puzzle. Okay, so I'm just going to flip through here, and anything that I think is going to sort of work, we're going to potentially snag it and use that. The handy dandy dad joke book. Yeah, exactly. So the prismatic owl would be kind of a bit complicated. I don't think that stone hand thing is going to work very well. It's going to be too... We actually want something that's very simple. Missing tombstones, metallic corridor, magic mouth, average difficulty, temple of the rat god. No, it's not really what we were looking for. Chamber of luck. We're not looking for a chamber. A door and a statue could still work for us. I think we might be able to repurpose the door of luck. Door of the lucky. To Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters. Okay, so door of luck, maybe. Right, let's keep going. Door of unlucky, no, we're not going to do that. Cracked lock vault, I don't think that's going to work. It's an easy one, but hang on. The keys, no. I want something relatively... The stone fist, average escape, keys to escape, average fist, caterpillar catacomb, hand monument. The stone fist, I wonder. Multi-room, no, it's not multi-roomed. I think that's going to be too much. I don't think that's going to work. Mazes is not really what we're after. Flower of Deus. That's quite a hard one. I don't think I would do that, even though it was tempting. Let's keep going. Skipping stones. No. Corridor. Door of Shadows. Actually, the Door of Shadows is not a bad idea too. Now, the reason being is Apollo's about the light, so Door of Shadows could be repurposed. Door of Shadows. Okay. Pay attention to which... Fred, why do I have to worry about which finger I'm pointing with? Because somebody said don't point with your middle finger. Don't and you guys in America... in the United States, North America, you guys have got to get over a lot of this stuff. Because seriously, what you consider offensive, if it is offensive or whatever the heck you're talking about, it's got nothing to do with my own culture, okay? So, I mean, seriously, I keep seeing people say this thing. I'm like, what the heck are you on? Last Will and Testament. Deja Vu. Easy. No, that's not going to work. Puzzle, Last Will and Testament. Rewriting history. No, that's not going to work. No, Caves isn't a good one. Mirror of Separation. No. No, Yoke. No, Eyes of the Eyes of the Obelisk might work. But the statue is probably not going to relate so much to that. Although it's still average. Okay, let's keep going. Schools of Magic, Veteran Memorial. All my pictures have middle finger. I don't know. Again, I don't know what people are. I don't understand what they're trying to get at. Okay, so the candle amulet. The candle amulet might be a good substitute as well. Amulet. Incense deities. Okay, that's easy to average. Incense deities. This is easy to average. And actually it might fit as well. Deities. I've got to go in a second, people, but I'll keep flipping through this till we hopefully get something that's... Yeah, I'm going to have a couple of them written down that would potentially be useful. I know for those of you who don't have this book, it's going to be a little bit of a problem, but yeah. Average, some of you do, so. Prismatic Owl is it keeps coming up and I keep thinking Prismatic Owl, one of those versions would probably work fine. Prismatic Owl. Yeah, possibly. So big kid, what I've done is DIY. Any ideas of easy integration to the other ideas? Yeah. I just looked at it. I was like, it's going to be too hard to figure out how to make it all work. I'm not good at making puzzles. If it wasn't clear. Booth might be escape route. I don't want to place an escape route in the arena or below the arena because it would be just too easy. What we need to do is they either have to escape from the arena and then go through the streets and find their escape route that way, or they escape the arena with the help of maybe the priest and they go to the temple. Like there's a couple of ways it can be done. Help find Rising Golem. No. Stone Bash. Final puzzle. No, I think that's it. I think we've got what we need. There's a bit of tidying up that I need to do. I think that definitely I'm going to still have to do a little bit of tidying up, which is understandable. But most of it is done and there. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is what I've done for the tail end of this. For those of you who are wondering, I've picked out a few puzzles from Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters, things that I think can be modified for the final sort of, escape passageway going through, once they get to the Temple of Apollo. But again, I don't know that they necessarily have to use this approach. This is just one approach. We've got a lot of encounters. I will tidy up all the NPCs later on. I'll fix that up. Maybe I can do that tonight. Just depends on how busy work is. I don't know how busy work's going to be. We've got our locations. We've got 8 locations. We've got a list of player characters. We don't have an adventure name. We need an adventure name. Hashtag. What is the adventure name? I have no idea. We haven't got an adventure name. It would be good to have an adventure name because we didn't actually get one down. But we've got pretty much everything else. We've got our NPCs. I'll just finish that. We've got our player characters. We've got our goal, what the problem is, locations, encounters, and rewards. And yeah, it's mostly there. Okay, that's good. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Cool. Nice. All right. Got it done. Well, mostly done. Let's say mostly done. Not all done, but mostly done. The Trials of Apollo. I think Lion Bait is probably better than the Trials of Apollo. I don't think we can call it the Trials of Apollo. But I will write those names down later on when I check out the live stream. Lion Bait is pretty funny, though. I like it. I'm going to just end this poll. Had 17 votes. Yes, we had 41% who wanted to make a Greek-styled adventure. It really wasn't Greek-styled. I would say it's an arena adventure, basically. No, 23%. Something else, 5% out of 17 votes. Not too bad. Not too bad. Pretty good. Tomorrow, I'm talking about Goblin Monster Tactics. And we'll do our monster workshop just as we normally do. For those of you who are interested. Yes, Goblin Monster Tactics tomorrow. So, huge thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking part in the poll. If you were just watching, big thank you. Those of you who contributed, even if I didn't take on your ideas, I certainly helped. They helped build it all out. So, without your input, it would have been pretty much to me just sitting here trying to make it an adventure. So, huge thank you to you. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. And make sure to run away from lions.